Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tamara Smith, and I'm a practicing attorney in Florida in the area of medical malpractice as well as other areas of the law. Now, guess what? I'm starting this series on short-term rentals. And today's video is going to be, is your short-term rental illegal? Now, I do have a surprise for you. Particularly, I will be showing you a sample short-term provision that may be in your local ordinances, it may be in your home insurance documents, and may also be in your zoning laws. So stay tuned for that. So you can definitely be on the lookout for that. Before we get into the video, I do have a slight disclaimer. This video does not in any way insinuate any attorney-client relationship. This video is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. I do apologize if there's like background noise. I'm actually recording this video in the middle of my city, downtown coffee shop. So bear with me here. Now, when we think about short-term rentals, we generally think about Airbnbs, Verbos, that is VRBOs, Home2Goes, and possibly other platforms like Hello Landing. So that's what we think about when we think about short-term rentals. The overwhelming trend that we've seen in legal community among the regulatory ordinances generally defines a short-term rental as generally defines a rental as 30 days or less. For an example, in the state of Seattle, their state ordinances defines a short-term rental as a book stay of 29 consecutive days or fewer. Now, some of you that may be watching this may be intending to become a host in the short-term rental space, or you may already be a host in the short-term rental space. You may already be an Airbnb host, a Verbo host, whatever that may be. Now, a few documents you may want to either hire your attorney to check, or you may want to review before you proceed in the short-term rental space. And particularly, I'm talking about the people who are looking to get into the short-term rental space. Is to first determine, is your short-term rental covered by your homeowner's insurance? This is really important because states like California actually require a proprietor to have homeowner's insurance. Now, homeowners insurance policies, or I would say most traditional homeowners insurance policy, unfortunately do not cover short-term rentals. And unfortunately, these homeowners insurers will cancel coverage if they find out that you are using your dwelling place as a short-term rental. For an example, traditional homeowner policies generally will not cover loss or damage to the personal property that belongs to the guests of the short-term rental. So let's just say if you have a guest that is staying in your dwelling through a hosting platform like Airbnb or Verbo, and there's a theft, the homeowner's insurance won't cover that. Now, another thing that you want to look at, or you want to have your attorney look at before you get into the short-term rental space, is going to be your zoning laws and local ordinances, which is really important. So your zoning laws are going to determine where in the community a short-term rental can actually operate and who may operate a short-term rental. You also want to have your attorney advise you on your state laws. Jurisdictions like New York have actually banned short-term rentals unless the host is residing on the premises with the guests. When at actually that point, is it really called a short-term rental? Because short-term rentals also involve housing to the public, the practice would generally be subject to the public accommodations law. Public accommodation laws are federal and state laws. Now, public accommodations is regulated by the American Disabilities Act that regulates public accommodations. This term includes hotels, motels, inns, and other places of lodging, but excludes a building that contains 5 or fewer rooms for rent or hire, or which is occupied by the property. Now, let's get into the surprise. Here's a sample short-term restriction provision. Short-term use of a unit and or any room in a unit for any consideration, including non-monetary consideration, for living or sleeping purposes for a period of less than 6 months without prior consent. Short-term use of a unit and/or any rooms in a unit shall be defined as offering and/or using, renting, leasing, licensing, letting, swapping, or exchanging or unit or rooms of the unit for one or more persons for living or sleeping purposes for any consideration, any use of a unit or rooms in a unit as a bed and breakfast as a bed and breakfast, regardless of whether or not the owner operator resides in the unit and or any use of a transit, hotel, motel, lodging, vacation rental. So that is a sample provision that restricts a short-term rental. That provision is typically going to be maybe in your homeowner's insurance